How you do? Cousins, it's Rusty. I'm down here at the warehouse today, and I wanted to take you in with me to take a look at a bunch of tools that I just bought at a Goodwill store. They have this glass case in the towards the front in one of the stores I go into, and this was in there, and I could just peek in. I looked at just barely enough to know that it was probably worth what I paid, which was $80. So I brought it home. I have not gotten into it yet. I wanted you to experience this with me at the same time so you can get my real honest opinions and thoughts on it and whether or not it was a good purchase or not. And you can be the judge of that too. But without further ado, let's get into this. No, I'm talking about a Rusty how-to. Rusty how-to. All right, we're back. This is a Husky Toolbox. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the inside here. Or on the outside rather. 7, 8, 9, 10. They wanted to make sure that everyone knew it was $80. Okay? Someone got real happy with the labeler there. But here we go. The first thing I saw when I opened this was that there were tons of different ratchets and sockets and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and change the camera angle here so that you can actually see close up on the tools themselves as I'm pulling them out, and you don't have to look at my ugly mug. You can just kind of hear my voice talk about it if you can stand that, and we'll look at this stuff together. Let's take a look. All right, here we are. I'm going to start pulling these out here. So the first thing we got here is it says a Hacksaw tool, which is just basically a screwdriver that has little bits that are stuck in here. And this is super handy, so you don't have to carry these around. Sometimes they have them stuck, a little thing that you screw or pop in the back, and they hold them on the inside. But anyways, that's not terribly valuable. But okay, so first, kind of out the gate here, we've got, it's very dusty, but it is a Craftsman. It's a vintage Craftsman Flathead screwdriver, so that's nice. Screwdrivers, Craftsman brand stuff is actually pretty valuable. Here it looks to be like an incomplete set of sockets here. These are the Craftsman. I'll pull one of these off here so you can see it. A Craftsman V. If that'll zoom in there or not. Pull it back a little bit. Well, you can't see, but it does say V on it, and it even has a serial number there, 49613. So I could look these up. I could find which ones go to this set. It looks like even though these are spaced out, it's actually only missing 2 pieces. There's one right here that's missing and one right here that's missing. So even though this is incomplete, because it's got this nifty little handle here, and it's vintage stuff, I could probably sell that for, $15, $20 would be my guess. Here's another, looks like an even older set. It's also a V. These are millimeters. So one of these is metric and one of these is not. Yeah, this one's not metric. And the one I'm holding is. This one's complete, as you can see. So it's got a little holder there, which is quite nice. And a little shelf. I don't know if you could hang that on something. You can see the back here, kind of right there, this little piece. That's nice. So we got several different sockets. As I'm looking here, I can pull this out. We got some other large sockets. Now this is a different brand. This is called Powercraft. P-O-W-R-Craft with a K. Also vintage pieces, and these are quite large. So, if there's enough in here that I can make a set out of, I don't know if there are, but there might be. I mean, there's several in here, but they're not in a little holder case, so I'm just going to set them down here on the floor as I'm pulling them out. There's quite a few here. Then here's a little piece that you could actually put, a little bit that you could actually put into a screwdriver or a drill. That would hold the bottom of a socket, and you can put different sizes in there. So that little piece, I don't know if you can see that there. It's a little bit different. Now we got something different here. We got some of these like ratcheting socket pieces here. This is a Craftsman. This is made in USA. This portion says that, but then on here, this is a Powercraft. Let's see if there's actually a Craftsman one in here. Nope, that's also Powercraft. I'm not seeing, maybe there's one down in there, but either way, the actual handles of the tools are Powercraft, and then I've got a couple of different of these bendy ratcheting ones. And again, some really large sockets here. This is 13th, 16ths. I think that's a Powercraft brand. This also is Powercraft. So I got a combination so far. We're looking at specifically Craftsman and Powercraft. Now again, I paid $80 for this set, and at this point, what I've held in my hands might come close, honestly, to pay me back for what I've spent on this. Here we have a little Powercraft ratcheting. It looks like a screwdriver, but it has this little piece here that you would put a socket on. Now we're getting into the wrenches. Here's quite a large one, Forged Ally in the USA. SK Tools, it says on it. SK. I don't know if what is that, Skillcraft? I'm not sure what that is, but I'll look it up. SK Tools. So there's some others. I'm trying to pull the ones out that are the same brand. So you can see this one here has two different. I can't remember what that's called. It's for little socket bits there, and then these are just regular. This is one that has the same end on here, but then this one's got the different end there. Those are all SK. Here we go. Craftsman. Okay, so now we're getting into, these are metric Craftsman, vintage Craftsman. Again, we've got the, this has got the two little lines. The way that they are written, sometimes they have certain serial codes on them. Sometimes the way the word Craftsman is written in certain font denotes age. It can have the V or certain emblems that will tell you what the model of that came out or roughly when this was made. So all of these in my hand here are Craftsman. Nice, all good condition. There's not really, as you can see, they're really in good condition. Nice and shiny. No, not hardly any rust. Just a tiny little speck of rust there. But I'm real happy. That's one of the big deals if you want to sell these and make some good money. Having them in good condition is important because nobody wants to be out there working on something and get a bunch of rust on their hands. So I'm going to try to pull out real quick the rest of these wrenches. Here's an older, quite a bit older one here, and I don't know if you can tell the difference here in something like this versus that, but one is quite a bit shinier. This has a more of a kind of a slick portion here that comes out, whereas this one does not. And you can just see the difference. One's quite shiny and the other one's real dull. These are made at different times. This one's quite a bit older. Got a bunch of these small ones here. I'm going to pull just a ton of these wrenches. Just a ton of these. And real happy to see all of these. I'll have to put them together and check them out. I won't do this right now, but check and see if these are all from the same set, if I'm missing some or not. If I have whole sets, that's going to be real easy to sell those in one group. Some more of these little sockets here, some more Powercraft sockets. All right. Last couple ones here that I'm pulling out. I mean, they just keep coming out. All right, so, yep. Look at this one though. Look at this. I don't think I've ever seen one of these. So this is something that can screw in, I guess. Well, maybe it pulls out. There we go. I don't know if this was made this way. I'm assuming that it was, or if this was bent like that. If somebody out there knows, it says a half basically on here. It has a 1/2 inch. And this right here says 9/16. So if you put them together, you've got a half on one side and a 9/16 on the other. I don't know if this was a specialty tool for a certain type of thing, like automotive work or what. But that's real interesting. One of these sides, again, is real shiny and seems newer. This one, it's just made of a different type of a metal, and it seems quite a bit older. So that's a really cool piece. I'm not quite sure what that is. And this is just a metal bar. It's just a rod. Don't know what that's for. There's no markings on it or anything like that. So that's still part of the ratcheting set, and so is that. Some more of these different pieces there at the end. Got herself an old Stanley 299. I'm glad to have that number. I can look that up, but it's an old blade. It's supposed to be fixed, so I would unscrew this little knob here, pull it off, put a blade in. I can hear it shaking, so there's probably some blades in there, but we may mess with that a little bit and see what we got going on there. But I could put a little blade, and people collect these old Stanley and old Craftsman things, so I bet there'll be a collector out there for those. Okay guys, now we're done. We've basically emptied out the top here of this piece, of this little shelf. So now we're going to move on. Actually, before I do that, the last couple of little things that were down in here, which some of which I may be able to sell, some of which I'll just pitch, is just this little, a couple of adapters here for an electrical outlet with a little ground wire coming out of here. It looks super sketch. I'm going to just pitch that. This is some sort of like a little metal bracket. I don't have any need for that. A couple, here's another, looks like some sort of maybe a tester of some kind, electrical outlet testing device. I'm not sure if that would work or not. And then the last couple things here, we have both of these are basically, they cinch down, and they would have some sort of piece, whether this is I don't know if this is like for a precision, like a little pick, or a little needlepoint thing, or if this is actually for different small bits. This is an example of one of those I was telling you about. Let me see if I can unscrew this, if this will pull out. Yeah, so if I unscrew that, and you can see down in here, we've got a couple of different bits. One's just a little needlepoint, and another is like a flathead screwdriver. And so these just fit, they are stored down inside the middle of this. And then you slide them down in top of here, and then you cinch it down. This is a vintage thing, and it needs to be cleaned up. It's quite grody. I can just scratch it with my nail and get some of that white off, but it's probably like a yellow or orangish plastic underneath, and it might say the brand if I clean it up good. So that can definitely be used. This also could be used, this little piece here, although I don't have the bits, the attachments on it. Then there's this. It's a some sort of not a well, I'm trying to think of what I would call it, but basically you hammer on the end of it, and it would hammer down into something, or it's kind of like one of those things that helps finish nails get all the way down in the rest of the way. I'm not sure if that's what it is or not, but it is a Craftsman brand. Maybe it's a hole punch. Maybe it's a punch for like leather or something like that. It says Craftsman. It's a 5/32, and it says wear safety glasses on there. That's probably a good idea. And then lastly, there's a bunch of these old files, and quite large and actually pretty good condition, not real rusted. This one's broken off at the end a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but it could still be used. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? No, I was going to say, I thought that maybe those are one and the same, but they're not. And then this one's quite large, and I could certainly use that sometimes for filing on wood or other stuff. If I'm working on some jewelry, I could file that. Oh my goodness. So I'm reading this here, and it says Great Neck, India, but the name of this thing is the Mill Bastard. The Mill Bastard. I don't know, can you see that where it says that? Look at that. I've never seen that written on something, a metal tool, before. Well, that's crazy. All right, moving on. Okay, so I'm pulling out a real nice looking, great condition hand drill crank. You would crank it like that. And it is made in the USA, so this is probably a Stanley. Yeah, it's a Stanley. High-low drive, H1220B US. This is probably about a $20 to $25 tool right here, and it's in really good condition. Next up, we got a leather punch, and this is brand new. It's in the box, so I mean these aren't that valuable. $8 to $10 probably is what you're going to get for that. And then I see something else. Oh, nice. So Channel Lock brand. I'll show you that right there. Channel Lock, a large pair of pliers. The 440 is the, I guess maybe the model or the size, but they're quite large, and they got these rubber handles. That is definitely a $20 $25, maybe $30 tool as well. So these two things, $40. I guarantee I could get $40 for the two of these. That's half of the money of this entire lot so far. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and I'm excited about what else I'm pulling out here. So here we have a nice old vintage hacksaw. And it is the Diston brand, D-I-S-S-T-O-N, Diston, and Henry Diston & Sons from Philadelphia, USA. This is the 348. It's a plastic handle that has these little old nuts on here and screwed onto these screws to hold this plastic handle in place. That plastic handle is a little bit loose, could probably be cinched up. The blade's actually in really good condition still. Which of course you can always just go buy blades for things like this, but that's a great little saw. You know, that's probably a $15 to $20 saw right there if I want to sell it on eBay today. And then we've got a little ruler here, metal ruler, that like contractors or people like that use. It can slide, you unscrew here, and then this thing can slide either which way to hold it in place, to mark something. And it also has a level inside the hand area right here. You can see that. If I hold it up like this, then I can make that level. So it's a level and a measuring piece. That's nice piece of metal. I'm not sure of the brand. YY is all I'm seeing on here, so I'm not sure. I could look that up, but that's handy. Okay, so now we have another Powercraft, you know, lock-in for the sockets, for these big socket pieces that I found earlier in the top. That is used for that piece, and then also here another Powercraft one. Same situation. You can lock that in place. It's a ratcheting one. That's great. Okay, so then we got some hammers. Here's a nice little hammer. No branding on it, but it's in good condition. Definitely been used, but that'll be handy. Could use that around the warehouse for sure. And then we got this, which is really cool. It's like a what they call a ball peen hammer, I guess, with a very long handle. I can't quite make out what this says. It's some sort of emblem, something with an A and a horseshoe looking shape. Made in USA. Man, that's cool. Can't quite see it, but I'll have to look that up. Horseshoe emblem on this. Figure out what the manufacturer of that would have been. But that's a great little piece. I'm sorry, I was holding it up out so you can't see it. Here you go. Right there is what we're looking at. I got all carried away looking at myself and I wasn't even showing you. So sorry about that. Okay, gonna keep moving on here. Got the last few items here. Let's take a look. This is the Red Devil from Union, New Jersey, USA. It's just this little blade trowel type thing you use to kind of fix when you're fixing drywall. It has other uses, but this is a P1076F. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the Red Devil brand really. And here's a cool pair of hand pliers. You can see these right here, mainly because they got this cool little bumpy little handle there you can hold on to. See if it has a particular branding on it here. Wall-tooled, something wall-tooled, forged, occupied Germany. Oh my goodness. Occupied Germany, British zone, it says. Well, folks, what a treat. Not only is this a cool tool, but it was just an awesome piece of the past. Occupied Germany, I may be wrong on these dates, but I believe it was sometime between 1945 and 1952, after World War II, whenever Japan had surrendered during World War II. The U.S. continued to occupy for about 5-7 years, something like that, and there were products produced at that time, and they were made for the rest of the market, the world market, as well as the United States, and they would say made in occupied Japan, because they were occupied at the time. It says British zone, so I don't know if that means that the British were in control of the particular area where this was made in Japan. But what a neat thing. I've seen occupied in Japan pieces before. Usually stuff just decorative things, items for the house, but not on tools. And I've never seen one that said British Zone on it. So that is super neat. And they're, you know, they're still usable. They can be opened up to be wide or tighter. So super cool. I'm excited about that one. I have no idea what the value of that would have been. This is a malleable little hand vise here. This was made in Japan. MTE Co. -3. So I'll look that up. Also, just off the cuff, I have no idea what the value would be of that. I'm going to grab some of these loose hanging screwdrivers and stuff. Here's one. This is an old Phillips USA. And then we've got, here's a couple of these blue, looks like Powercraft brand. A couple more Flatheads, smaller ones. And then we got this big one right here. And I don't know. I mean, this looks kind of like a Stanley because it's got the yellow and the black. It has definitely got this piece here that someone has hammered on quite a bit. Almost using this as like a chisel or something where they've been hammering it down into something. But that's a very heavy duty thing. The handle's damaged. It's kind of crumbly and brittle. So I don't know what we'll do with that. I can't really repair that, so I might even just clean the rest of that black off and then sell it with just the yellow plastic that's harder underneath. Now I'm finding another one of those little vices. So we got two of those. And then here we got a Koak, K-O-A-K, forged steel 10-inch wrench here, adjustable wrench. And it says MFD by Kitagawa Tool Company in Japan. So this is Japanese made. I'm not familiar with that brand, so I'll have to look that up. Got a couple more. Couple of pliers here, Wards, Montgomery Wards, I believe. And then we've got another Powercraft adjustable wrench. And then we got this little clamping, locking clamping plier piece here. And I'm looking for manufacturer. I cannot see any manufacturer. So this is probably not US made. It's probably made in China or Japan or Taiwan, one of those places. But it looks like this is probably back in the 40s or 50s. Something like that, just judging by the kind of the look of it and the tarnished color. Forged steel, another one, probably not a real good name. Oh, here's a nice, like a drafting set here, a drawing set. The Waltham, let's see if you can see that, Waltham drawing set. And this thing looks like it has never been used. I mean, it is pristine. On the side here, it says W Germany, so this was made in West Germany. It's got this beautiful, I want to open this up, this beautiful green felt in there that's holding this stuff in. And good night, that's real pretty. I mean, that's really nice. And I don't know, yes, it's made in Germany on it. I don't know what these sell for, but I'm going to venture to guess I can get at least $20 for this. At least. Just given the age of it, the fact that it says it was made in Germany and it comes in a case and it looks like it's never been used. That's great. Alright, so a couple more pieces here. Another one of these rulers that can go in that level ruler thing. It says Orange Tool Company, Orange, Massachusetts in the U.S. So this is probably, again, back in the 30s or 40s when they, were writing, that's, say that they were made in the U.S., and it's a nice, piece of equipment here. So I'm going to drop that back all on this side. This is a little level. I don't know. It is made of metal, and it says mark 1 inch in 10 feet. Oh, it is a Craftsman. Oh, I'm excited about that because this is a vintage Craftsman, and it says number 3983 on there. I'm not sure, about the value of this, but it is made out of metal, and my guess is it has a magnetic side on one side, so you could hang that up in your tool area. It's got its little carrying sleeve, terrible condition, but it's called the torpedo. Okay, an aluminum torpedo level, so it's aluminum, so maybe it isn't magnetic. Craftsman, that's great. Got just a few items left here, folks. A bunch of little bits here. Nothing special, just some bits. On the bottom it says Wescon, W-E-S-C-O-N products in Wichita, Kansas. So there may be somebody who collects these, I'm not sure. We're missing a couple, so the set is not entirely complete. All right, some ring hangers. I'm going to pitch those. I don't need those. Here is a triangular file. So you can see this kind of, if I turn it slowly, it's triangular. It's got different size grit on each side. Slim taper, made in India. So it's another one of these Indian-made ones. Oh, look, got a little pocket knife in here. What do you know? It's just one of these little red ones, looking kind of like a Swiss Army. It says stainless china, so it's just a knockoff one. But man, if I get some meat in my teeth, though, you better believe I have the option to pick them with this pick. I'm not gonna do it, but you know I could if I wanted to. So coming down in here, then we've got just like a little sliding blade here. So you know this is the cover for it, and then if I want to push it out, there's a blade down here on the bottom end, a little box knife type thing. Call Before You Dig, 1-800-327-9686, LightNet. So it's a company that you know was advertising for themselves. Last few things. Ooh, this is a cool little box. It says Drill Index on it. Drill Index, and it says Radnor, made in the USA. So if I open it up, we got this cool set of drill bits, which have clearly been used, but are all in there. So I even see some remnants of some wood and some almost looks like drywall dust and stuff on here. So if I just went through and cleaned those up a little bit, they're already real shiny. I have a nice vintage, and these look like good quality. I mean, they still feel sharp to me as well. So that's a great little set there. I could kind of buff out that top if I wanted to. Oh, look at this. Now that is a cool tool. Super thin. It has a sharp serrated edge there. If the camera will zoom in, I don't know if it's going to. But it's got a serrated edge there. This little, this is again one of those things that can twist off, and this could pop out if I wanted to, if I had a different thing to put on there. And it's by the X-Acto company, X-Acto company. And it has a, this is what a cool little tool. I could see how this could be super useful if you need to do some precision cutting, but you don't have a tool handy, like an electric tool, or you're just worried about an electric tool going too fast. You could use this to just kind of saw. It's just like a saw, but it's a tiny handheld one. Love that. I have no idea what the value of that would be, but I bet $10 at least, because I've never seen one. I've just never seen one, and it's in great condition. Okay, finally, last thing here. It's rubber banded here, but it's another little plastic, or not sorry, plastic, it's metal. It is a Craftsman, it says on here, Craftsman brand metal thing. And so what is it holding here? Well, you can see it's holding a bunch of these smaller ratcheting handles and tools, and you know, that you could use. We've seen some of these earlier, haven't we? Some of these smaller ones, but these are all, well, I say all, they're not. There's a Powercraft one in here too. So this is a mixture, amalgamation here of various different brands. I say various, it's probably just those two. But that's great. An old screw, I don't need that. But yeah, several different little old tools in here. Man, what a cool, and then of course, you know, we can't neglect to say, I got this nice, kind of medium-sized, heavy-duty metal Husky Toolbox, which once I get these doggone stickers off of, could be worth, you know, 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks itself. I don't know what these sell for new, but this is in pristine condition if I just kind of clean it a little bit. So, all right, let me lay these all out so you can kind of see them. And, you know, I haven't looked this stuff up. I may be wrong here, but I would venture to guess that if I sell all these things either individually or in small groups, I could bring back in-house at least $300. So I spent $80. I think I can sell this all for $300, maybe more. So, you know, after taxes and after fees and all that stuff, I'm going to do probably $150 in profit off of this one purchase here. And of course, there's a lot of work that's involved. I got to do some research. I got to do multiple listings and items. It's going to take some time. This is not a quick flip. Although my first, point of business is to take the stuff that I know will sell the fastest for the most money. I sell that first, get my investment back. I want to get my 80 bucks back by next week if I can. Then I don't have to be stressed about reducing prices or selling this other stuff fast. I can let it sit. As long as I have storage, which I still do, We got a whole warehouse here, of course. Anyhow, well, thanks guys for joining. It's cool to see this. Definitely going to look up the one that was in West Germany, or the occupied Germany one, and a couple of these brands that I'm not familiar with. I love this stuff because I'm learning too. So I'll keep you updated if I sell any of this stuff. Now let me show you a quick update on the last tool thing that we sold. Let me take you over there and we'll talk about it for just a moment. Well, howdy here, cousins. Listen, I have had all kinds of people since I bought this lot tell me that I'm not going to make nearly the kind of money I want to make on it. And there's a lot of haters out there. Some people aren't trying to be haters. They just think I'm not informed. And that's fair enough because, hey, listen, I've got a lot to learn from you guys out there, all my cousins out there as well. I don't know everything. Far from it, actually. But I just wanted to kind of give you a quick update. We dropped the video that we were saying that might have been the find of the year. It's a 2021 estate sale video. We dropped that on February 26th, I think. But it was definitely into February. Go back and look at that video because we get a lot of other cool goodies in that video as well. But right as I walked in the door, I found this lot of tools. It was a big old box. And I'll tell you right now, we just sold this one planer, hand planer here, as you can see, number 45, and this little container here of other blades. And I'm sure that these extra blades was one of the kickers here because you could use those on other similar ones as well. If you clean those up, you got all these nice blades. It's hard to come by those all in one place, but $400, guys. Again, I spent $300 on the entire lot of tools. And if you go back and look, you'll see that there were no less than 8 hand planes. This is one of the 8. Several hand crank drills, a hatchet, a draw knife, oodles of drilling bits, and other awesome tools in there. I basically went on eBay and I priced a bunch of these for really expensive. Not expecting to get that much money, but I figured somebody might make me an offer, and today was the day. You know, it's been a couple of months. I wanted to see if I could sell them all as one lot because that would be an easy sell. I could make all my money back at once, or if somebody would pay good money for one. And here we are. Not only have I made my investment back now within 2 months, but I'm now into the profit. So now I can go through and I can reduce the price on everything that I've got down to a more reasonable, competitive price, and hopefully start selling these puppies quickly and start bringing my money in. But I'm in no hurry now because I've made all my money back. My investment's back. I got nothing into what I've got now other than just whatever the cost of the space that I'm storing it in would be to me on an annual basis. So very excited. I shipped this off yesterday. I really hope that the buyer likes it. I'm super happy that they purchased it from us. And so anyhow, I wanted to give you this quick update. Now I've got all the stuff in this lot, tools to sell, and then I got the stuff in the ones I just showed you today. So I'm going to try to throw up these hammers and some of these Craftsman tools and try to make my money back real fast. I'm going to get those pliers, those channel lock pliers, sell those. Guys, you let me know what you think. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll give you updates as this stuff sells. Rusty, how to, Rusty.